Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff, Earth 616. Wanda Maximoff, also known as the Scarlet Witch, is a Romani-Transian sorceress and twin sister of the speedster Quicksilver. Once believed to have been mutant children of Magneto, the twins are in truth orphans enhanced by the High Evolutionary at Mount Wundagore. The Scarlet Witch became a conduit of chaos magic, allowing her to shift probabilities and warp reality itself in the form of hexes. After being saved from an angry mob by Magneto, the Scarlet Witch and her brother joined the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants to fight for Magneto's mutant supremacy cause. Disagreeing with Magneto's ruthless approach, the twins left him and joined the superheroic Avengers instead. The Scarlet Witch was trained by Agatha Harkness in order to explore her naturally powerful magical abilities. She also had in the Demon Lord of Chaos Thawne an arch-nemesis. As an Avenger, Maximoff fell in love with and married her synthezoid teammate, the Vision. In order to form a family with her artificial husband, she used her abilities to create two twin boys, but the spell was later broken, erasing the boys from existence, a tragedy that was accompanied by her husband being dismantled. The trauma of losing her family made her mentally vulnerable. After she attacked the Avengers twice, the group disassembled. Subsequently, in a major display of her powers, the Scarlet Witch reshaped reality, making mutants the dominant lifeform on Earth, ruling as the House of M, based on Magneto's wishes. As the Avengers and the X-Men battled to restore reality, she uttered the words, "No more mutants," wiping out the super abilities of most mutants in retaliation of Magneto's extremism. This action became known as the Mutant Decimation. For years, after a long recovery by rejoining the Avengers, the Scarlet Witch has been haunted by her actions in a journey for redemption. More recently, she found herself dealing with the threat of Thawne once again by getting into contact with his book, The Darkhold. Moreover, when secretly attending the Hellfire Gala, a mutant fashion event, the Scarlet Witch was mysteriously assassinated, which led to an even more puzzling investigation. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Wanda accidentally set fire to an unnamed village with her powers and was attacked by villagers. One of them proclaimed her to be a Scarlet Witch, which would later become her codename. Magneto arrived at the scene and rescued Wanda from the villagers. Due to this rescue, Wanda felt indebted to Magneto. She was willing to serve him until her debt was repaid. Wanda and Pietro were later recruited into Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and, as the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, fought the X-Men on several occasions. Throughout her tenure, Wanda fended off romantic advances from fellow member Mastermind. She proclaimed that she would rather die than become his wife. In their initial battle with the X-Men in Santo Marco, the Scarlet Witch knocked out Angel, who had incapacitated her brother, in retaliation and brought the captured X-Men to Magneto. But the X-Men forced them to abandon their prisoner and even the entire country. At their next scheme, Scarlet Witch disagreed with Magneto's plan to kill the X-Men. During his attempt to kill every X-Man except the captive Angel, Scarlet Witch used one of her hexes to short-circuit Magneto's control panel. She injured one of Magneto's hands in the process. Before Magneto could teach her a lesson, Wanda hid behind her protective brother Quicksilver. Subsequently, Wanda was nearly injured by debris created by one of Cyclops' blasts. To have her brother return to her, Wanda convinced an angry Namor to back down. Upon leaving the scene, Namor remarked upon his attraction to the Scarlet Witch. But her beauty reminded him of Susan Storm, and he feared that this potential relationship would be similarly doomed, and he would end up being rejected, so he departed. Avengers. They soon abandoned their terrorist activities, while Magneto was imprisoned by the Stranger, and joined the Avengers. The remaining founding members had all gone on a leave of absence, leaving Captain America to lead an all-new lineup including Wanda, Pietro, and the Archer known as Hawkeye. By then, the Scarlet Witch would have rather become an actress, but she never had a chance to pursue such a career. They left the Avengers after the Scarlet Witch lost her powers and Quicksilver was shortly influenced by Magneto again. The Scarlet Witch then began a quest to recover her powers by studying grimoires, with Quicksilver and the Toad supporting her. Her studies accidentally summoned extradimensional Caudello Archon, who kidnapped the witch to make her his bride, the Toad when he opposed, and then a number of Earthborn scientists in an attempt to use atomic power to save his own world, Polemachus, even by destroying Earth. Quicksilver gained the help of the Avengers managed to save Polemachus without damaging Earth. Archon ceased any further violence against Earth and renounced to the Scarlet Witch because she had convinced him of the importance of small things. Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch then resumed their membership with the Avengers. The Toad chose to remain at Polemachus. Not long after the birth of Quicksilver's first child, Wanda and Pietro learned a secret about their parentage, that Magneto was allegedly their true father. Although she became more adept in her powers use, Wanda did not realize that she was tapping into genuine magic. It was believed that the Scarlet Witch would have been an ordinary energy manipulator or perhaps simply able to cause bad luck if not due to Thawne's attempt to use her as a pawn. Wanda fell in love with the Synthezoid Vision, an artificial being created by Avengers foe Ultron who joined the team rather than fight them. The Scarlet Witch eventually married her teammate, the android Vision, not realizing that they were being manipulated by Immortus, who sought to prevent Wanda from having a child under the belief that Wanda was actually a key figure, or nexus being, to her reality, and her children would have the power to shake the foundations of the universe. Breakdown. The Scarlet Witch seemingly gained powerful reality-altering abilities from chaos magic. However, this proved to be an uncontrolled aspect of her mutant power and created a great mental strain on her. An unintentional remark by teammate Wasp about Wanda's lost children apparently drove her over the edge. She suffered a nervous breakdown and lashed out with her new power, subjecting the Avengers to a savage assault and apparently killing Agatha Harkness and some of her teammates. Others were injured or affected by various odd outbursts and incidents, including Vision, who was killed by She-Hulk after he attacked the Avengers due to Wanda causing him to lose control of his actions. The remaining Avengers gathered including a number of reservists. Darkhold. Sensing Thawne return, the Scarlet Witch discovered that the original Darkhold book had been uncovered by Dr. Doom and his prime champion Victorious. Reluctantly, she joined forces with Doom to defeat Thawne. They learned that Thawne was once defeated by a group of 5 warriors called the Darkhold Defenders. With Victorious' help, the Scarlet Witch assembled a modern version of the team, formed by some of her superhero allies. The group read excerpts of the Darkhold to chase for Thawne in the other realm, however, they were corrupted. The deviant team was sent to defeat Thawne's army and weaken him. The Scarlet Witch then entered Thawne's domain with Dr. Doom to confront the demon directly. She betrayed Dr. Doom and took the Darkhold in order to defeat Thawne herself. Fused with the book, she was able to defeat and possess Thawne entirely. Empowered by the Darkhold and Thawne, she undid the corruption. Afterwards, the Scarlet Witch taunted Doom for his past abusive schemes against her and proclaimed her freedom. Redeemer. During the first Krakoan Hellfire Gala, Magneto invited the Scarlet Witch to the event. Ashamed, she saw him in private only, sharing a wish of making amends with the mutant community. That night they performed a mystic ritual to increase the capabilities of the Resurrection Protocols, whose existence had been revealed by Magneto. By folding time, the Scarlet Witch attempted to allow mutants who had died before Cerebro was activated and potential future mutants to be resurrected from a plane called the Eldritch Orchard. In order to link the Orchard with Krakoa, the Scarlet Witch arranged for her own sacrifice since being resurrected on Krakoa would activate the process. Using a glamour spell, she made her suicide look like a murder. Her dead body was found by her son Speed on Krakoa, and Magneto was blamed for her assassination. A bizarre investigation led the Avengers to invade Krakoa and Magneto to counterattack. Meanwhile, Magneto and Hope secretly had the Scarlet Witch resurrected without the quiet council of Krakoa's knowledge, using an old mental backup. This younger version of the Scarlet Witch met the Avengers unaware of the most recent events concerning her life. Struggling to cope with being introduced to traumatic memories, the Scarlet Witch conjured gigantic monsters that attacked Krakoa. In the Eldritch Orchard, the present-day Scarlet Witch faced an older version of herself. The old woman explained the monsters were manifestations of her guilt and shame and that she forgave herself to get rid of them. As the 3 Scarlet Witches joined forces against the monsters, they merged together. Falsely accusing Toad to be her killer in order to protect Magneto, the Scarlet Witch exposed the Eldritch Orchard's existence. Reformed as a mutant savior and finally putting the M-Day behind her, the Scarlet Witch became known by the Krakoan society as the Redeemer. Attributes. Powers. Wanda Maximoff is a powerful witch, capable of altering reality and probability by using chaos magic. Witchcraft. Maximoff is a human of magical birthright, which means she possesses the ability to manipulate magic since the very beginning. She was born a human with the affinity to control magic, allowing her to use the witchcraft she was born with, and that her powers were never gave to her by the high evolutionary, as it was believed, rather, he had altered her so Wanda is more receptive to magical energy. She was chosen to be one of the candidates as the next Sorcerer Supreme. Chaos Magic. Wanda's main power is the superhuman ability to manipulate the powerful magic known as Chaos Magic, a dark magic, which allows her to alter reality and control various forms of mystical energy. Wanda received the blessing/curse of the old god of chaos, Thon, who came to her, the day she was born, which would allow her to use his chaos magic as her own, and this would increase Wanda's natural ability to magic. Divine Sources. Wanda Maximoff can tap and channel energies from other dimensions as well as mystical and non-mystical entities other than Thon, such as Sidorak and Morrigan. She is actually considered the very nexus being of the central universe of Earth, 616. Since Wanda is a nexus being, she acts a living focal point for Earth's and her universe's mystical energies, making her much more capable to harness and use various kinds of magic as she desires. Spells and Phrases. Scarlet Witch has a vast knowledge of mystical spells and incantations invoking names and aspects of various extradimensional objects, beings and sources of power. Although she has shown the ability to cast spells by only saying or focusing on what she wants to happen, this could be related to the nature of her powers. She was trained by Agatha Harkness, who taught her how to control and utilize her magic for many mystical purposes, such as astral projection. She is able to project her spirit or astral form out of her physical body in order to travel into the spirit world or the astral plane. She still can use her powers in her astral form and can do this even while unconscious. Binding. Wanda has the power to bind and stop someone from moving with her magic, and she has used this to stop someone as strong as Colossus. Biological manipulation. Her sorcery allows her to manipulate life on cellular level as well as control all aspects of living creatures' biological makeup. For an instance, she can heal different kinds of injuries and wounds. She once tries to age Jennifer's gamma radioactivity until it's inert. She also has linked the Hulk and a bunch of other Hulks, allowing Banner to merge with them. Bond manipulation, can manipulate and induce bond of others. She is able to strengthen the bond between the Bloodwraith and the Slorenia itself, to its boundaries as well as its people, trapping the Bloodwraith within the country. Chaos manipulation. Maximoff has the ability to control chaos and manipulate chaotic forces, like she did against the In-Betweener, restoring him to a whole being, after he tapped her powers. Clairvoyance. Wanda Maximoff has the ability to receive information about a person or an object even though she has never directly seen them before. She also has the ability to predict the future. She has used a divination spell to search Hope Summers' location, and she has had a dream about Black Knight's fate when he was in another dimension. Energy constructs. As an experienced magic user, Scarlet Witch has performed the ability to turn her magical energy into tools, objects, weapons, and other items to suit her needs. She has created a shield, sword, knife, sharp whip and other projectiles, weapons and constructions of mystical energy. Energy manipulation. Wanda is capable to manipulate various forms of energy. Energy absorption. Wanda was capable to absorb and channel energy. Wanda once absorbed Wonder Man's ionic powers as a power source and used it to teleport all of mutant kind into a spaceship. Energy projection. Wanda was capable to release and project powerful energy blasts of various shapes and/or intensities, such as bolts, beams, bursts and waves, that can knock, destroy, slice, and annihilate her targets. Wanda has shown that her energy blasts can knock out godlike beings. This ability becomes the most frequently she uses in almost every fight. Energy transferal. Wanda was capable to take energies from one target and put or transfer it into another several targets or beings. Wanda once returned so many energies Rogue has borrowed back to their previous owners. Flight. Maximoff has also proven to be able to fly at will. She can also give others the ability to do so. The full extent of this ability is unknown, but she was capable of fighting an enemy while flying. She has also shown the ability to levitate, as she has done while meditating in the lotus position. Forcefield. As one of the most powerful witches on the planet, Wanda Maximoff has shown to be capable of projecting powerful fields and shields of mystical energy that she can use for many different purposes. She was capable to protect herself and her allies against many destructive attacks such as bullets, blasts, or explosions. She was also capable to use her force field to contain many items, as well as to prevent someone from teleporting, like she did to Voyager. Not only that, she was also capable to defend herself automatically, meaning her powers can defend her against attacks without her conscious will. Gravity manipulation. In a rare occasion, the Scarlet Witch has proven to be able to alter and control gravity. She has diminished the effect of gravity itself. Illusion casting. Wanda has demonstrated the power to generate and cast realistic illusion. With this power, she was able to fool her enemies like she did to Emerald Warlock. Wanda has also demonstrated the power to create and shape holograms to entertain or to help her explain about any event or incident better. Invisibility. Maximoff possesses the ability to make objects or people unseen, casting an invisibility spell on Wonder Man. Location tracking. Can find, probe, and track the location of anyone she desires at the moment over any distance or conditions. She once manages to find someone who previously inhabited Mjolnir, and guide Thor to him. Magical awareness. Scarlet Witch has displayed the ability to be aware of almost anything that affects her and her surroundings. Mechanical manipulation. Can control and manipulate machine as well as mechanical objects. As seen, for example, she is able to freeze up, control, and damage Alchema's internal molecular rearranger. Nature manipulation. Wanda has shown to be capable to manipulate and command nature at her will. She also has an affinity with nature due to her witch training. Elemental manipulation. Wanda can control and generate the elements. She stated that power over natural or classic elements comes more easily to her. Weather control. Wanda can manipulate and influence the weather, creating rain in a certain area. Necromancy. Maximoff can contact and communicate with the deceased. She has done it to make contact with the Slorenian dead. Non-physical interaction. Wanda Maximoff has the power that allows her to affect and harm intangible beings, such as ghosts, intangible demons, spirits, and vision. Portal creation. The Scarlet Witch is able to open magical portals and gates to another location, gaining the ability to visit or banish anyone/anything in tremendous distances instantaneously. Power resistance. She has resistance to certain attacks, abilities, and powers that can affect and harm her. She is resistant to various types of magic and energy. She also has resistance against reality warping, probability manipulation, elemental forces, and even the Phoenix Force, to a limited degree. Protection spell. Wanda can cast the spell of protection so that she and her teammates can be protected against certain danger. She has casted protection hex to herself, Thor, and Odin to keep them safe from knee-deep acid. She also has maintained protective aura around the Avengers and the civilians, keep them safe from the ruins. Purification. During her time as a mystic, Maximoff has demonstrated the ability to purify any kind of objects. She has magically purified a lake and thrown a demon, who at the time possessed 2 people, in it to protect the victims. She used spell in this case. Reality manipulation. One of the most well-known powers that Wanda Maximoff has is her ability to shape, warp, defy and bend reality itself. She has been stated as one of the world's greatest and most dangerous reality warpers. She can use this ability to create anything and everything from nothing and can disintegrate as well as erase person or object from existence. She can also combine her physical combat with her reality warping power, as she did against Hope Summers. Replication. The Scarlet Witch is capable of replicating and multiplying herself and others. She has used this power to multiply germs in the wrecking crew's bodies, incapacitating them with sickness. Scanning. She was capable to invoke Thotha's gaze to examine an area within the Savage Land and see what non-native beings had been there. Also, while using this spell, she could see that she and her teammates were in the middle of an ambush. Scrying. Wanda can hear, view, and observe people's location and condition by making projection image that shows event that is happening in faraway place. Soul manipulation. Maximoff has proven to be capable to manipulate soul. She can use her magic to summon spirits from the afterlife and can resurrect the dead and bring them back to life. She was also capable to practice exorcism as well as read other people's aura so that she could determine if they are aligned with good or evil. Superpower manipulation. Wanda Maximoff has demonstrated the power to manipulate superpowers of others by various means. Her magic allows her to control, absorb or steal, and boost or enhance any kind of superpowers that her targets have. Her magic also allows her to cancel, block, or negate the effect of her enemy's powers and reflect or redirect any power that is projected against Wanda herself. Telekinesis. Scarlet Witch possesses the power to move, stop, and manipulate objects. She has reacted and stopped Sabretooth who tried to catch her as well as thrown a truck at Thor. Telepathy. Wanda has demonstrated the ability to enter, manipulate, and alter people's mindscape with or without the target's agreement. She was able to take herself and Khazar into Shauna's mind in order to free her from mind control. She was also able to induce other people to sleep, control the minds of others, and create realistic illusions in the minds of others to trick her opponents, like she did to Maynard Tybalt. And not only that, she was even able to communicate and torture other people mentally, as well as read the mind of other beings. Emotion manipulation. Wanda has demonstrated the ability to affect and control the emotions of others. She is capable of feeling the pain and anger of the Slorenian dead. She is also capable of inducing fear into others. Teleportation. Maximoff can teleport herself and others to any place they want across large distances. She was able to travel interdimensionally. Also, she can summon/teleport persons or objects to her or any other people's location and can banish/teleport away person or objects from her location. Time manipulation. Wanda Maximoff has proven to be capable of manipulating and controlling time. As a Nexus being, Wanda also has the ability to alter the probabilities of cosmic timelines. She was able to stop and slow down time. She once conjured a spell that causes a person's body to rapidly break down as if it has endured 5,000 years of wear and tear over a period of a mere 5 seconds. Transmutation. The Scarlet Witch can transform or transmute anything into anything else, such as when she changed her clothes in an instant. She also has transmuted ice and snow into steam as well as transmuted Thor's lightning into butterflies. Witch sight. Wanda can see things beyond what normal humans can. For example, she was able to see an enhanced and invisible man-bull. She was also able to see Agatha Harkness's spirit and Moondragon's psychic assault, which had been stated that no human eye could. Probability manipulation. Wanda has been stated as a probability manipulator of the highest order. Initially, Wanda had the ability to manipulate probability via her hexes, often manifesting physically as hex spheres or hex bolts, which manipulated energy fields and matter to varying degrees, and could disrupt time. These hexes were initially short-range, and were limited to her line of sight. Casting a hex would initially require a gesture and concentration on her part, though the gestures were largely a focus for the concentration. Early in her career, her hexes were unconscious, and would be automatically triggered whenever she made a particular gesture, regardless of her intent. These hexes would only manifest as bad luck, triggering negative effects. She later gained enough control over her powers that they only worked when she wanted them to, and they were not limited to negative effects. Wanda can use her hexes to cause a wide variety of phenomena, including, but not limited to, spontaneous combustion or melting, rapid or spontaneous decaying, breaking, healing, or fixing, molecular destabilization, energy control, transference, disruption, amplification, transmutation, and absorption, inertia redirection, amplification, disruption, and transference. Lighting flammable objects. Containing or removing air from a particular volume. Canceling others' powers and abilities. Stopping the momentum of projectiles. Blocking, unlocking, closing and opening doors, objects and technological devices. Exploding and summoning objects. Creating force fields. Deflecting normal, physical and magical attacks. Negating or distorting physical laws and manipulating physical forces. Altering, affecting, and controlling matter, the molecular composition and physical state/form of physical objects. Causing various forms of energy to spontaneously appear or disappear. Altering size and gravity, as well as manipulating weather and technology. Animating things and sustaining the atmosphere. Her powers, while beginning to unveil a higher potential, appeared capable of prevailing against the mastered mystical power of Dormammu in his own dark dimension when she and the Avengers fought against him for Avalon's evil eye, albeit indirectly by disrupting the energies of Dormammu and the eye. She has trained often at using her hexes to deflect projectiles or to cause enemies to stumble or otherwise suffer the effects of bad luck. This makes her one of the few Avengers that Ultron fears, as his adamantium shell cannot repel magic. Wanda can also project very powerful blasts, orbs, waves, and beams of hex energy for a different purpose, such as to destroy or hit objects or people with a great force, illuminate an area, etc., as well as generate energy constructions such as force fields or screens of hex energy. Abilities. Aviation intuition. Wanda has great and proficient skill in piloting aircraft. Dancing, Maximoff has proven herself capable of doing one of the traditional dances of her childhood in front of many people. Expert combatant, the Scarlet Witch has been trained in hand-to-hand combat by Captain America, Hawkeye, and Mockingbird. She was able to combine her physical combat with her magic. Expert tactician and leadership, Wanda is skilled in the planning and execution of tactics, when sane, with this coming from the experience and leadership skills gained through years of active duty as an Avenger. Horse rider's aptitude, Wanda Maximoff has great amount of knowledge in horse riding. She once rides alongside with Wonder Man, impressing him. Meditation and yoga, Maximoff has shown capable of meditating. By doing this, she can develop and train her abilities as well as practice her magic. Through meditation, she is also able to be more focused to cast spell better. The Scarlet Witch also has the ability to utilize yoga. She can use yoga to help relax herself as well as rein in her darker thoughts. Multilingual, Scarlet Witch is fluent in several languages include English, French, and German, with at least some knowledge of Greek and Slovenian. However, in the case of the latter, she admits to being more comfortable speaking English. It is possible that she knows other language as well. For example, since she was born and raised in Serbia, it is likely that she knows Serbian and, since her foster parents were members of the Romani community, she may know one or more dialects of Romani as well. Her brother speaks fluent Russian and seems surprised that the other Avengers don't, suggesting that Wanda may also speak it. She has also been shown to converse in fluent Cantonese through magical aid. Occultism and magical knowledge, due to her mystic lore, Wanda is taught magic and witchcraft by Agatha Harkness and Doctor Strange. She also recently learns with her mother. Because of her power, knowledge, and experience, she is often the Avengers' go-to person for all things involving magic or the supernatural. Wanda taught Pixie a sleeping spell and taught the students of Strange Academy about the elements of chaos. She is considered to be one of Marvel's most prominent mystics. Swimming, Maximoff has displayed the ability to swim and fight in the water.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.